I have wonderful news for any Chibi that has not heard the announcement today. It's official. Sword Art Online Season 2 is getting adapted properly. It is going to get the pacing it deserves. Because today there was an announcement, an official announcement, telling us that the Caliber arc is going to be 3 episodes, and we're going into that next, and then right after that, it's going to be Mother Rosario. Now, here's the thing, okay? You're probably wondering, like, whoa, 3 episodes for Caliber, is that too short? No. Caliber is a side story, in the side story type volume of SAO, and so technically, being 3 episodes, that's actually amazing for a side story to take 3 freaking episodes. So they're definitely not going to be cutting out nothing in that side story. And then with Mother Rosario, which is a volume long, having about probably 6 to 7 episodes worth on that episode, that is pretty good. So yeah, that's damn freaking good. That's good job. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way, now that I announced that if you did not know about that announcement, let's talk about this episode. There is 2 things they have technically changed in Gun Gal Online's adaptation. Now, I want to cover these real quick before I begin the overall official, I guess, review of this first half of SAO. Okay, so we have Shion. Now, as we saw her character development in this episode, she finally was able to hold a gun, she pointed it at the bullies that were bullying her, she overcame that, she took her first step, and you got to see her being badass. She overcame her fear pretty much for the most part, and you saw her take off her glasses. Now, here's the thing, majority of anime-only watchers will most likely not understand the meaning behind Shion taking off her glasses. Only light novel readers most likely will understand that. Now, it's not a massive change, and it really doesn't ruin Gun Gal Online, it doesn't. The 2 things they changed doesn't ruin it. It's kind of a little bit of an annoyance why they changed it, even though they decided to stay so faithful anyways, but nothing is perfect. But the things they changed, okay, when you got Shion take off her glasses, the glasses signified, like, she was getting over her fear, because the glasses had bulletproof lenses in them. For instance, the glasses were bulletproof, and she used those for some form of security where she felt like she was safe. Kind of like Erza in Fairy Tail. She felt like she was safe, even though she knew it didn't help at all. She felt a little bit safer knowing she had, bulletproof glasses, and when she took them off, she finally realized her fear that she no longer needed, to hide behind her weaknesses, and that's what that scene meant. And so when they removed that, it kind of removed the overall final character development of Shion, but besides that, no complaints there. Another thing they removed, that's the final thing that's really major that they removed, was the entire bit with how Def Gun uncovered his victims, how he figured out where they lived. As I said a while back, I remember mentioning it a little bit in a couple of reviews back, I said that the entire binoculars bit, you shouldn't have been able to see those kiosks where, you're entering your personal information. No matter if you had a scope, if you were up close to them, behind their back, you shouldn't have been able to see the kiosk at all, because there was an invisible barrier, like it would blur out on anyone that said it. Kirito explained that when they first went to sign up with their information for the Ballad of Bullets. So, when you saw this, like in this episode, it reveals that Def Gun had binoculars and he was spying on people to find their information. You shouldn't be able to do that. It was because of a glitch in the game that was based in the original SAO game that it caused it to where if you look at a reflection, like if I was to look at a mirror piece, if I was to have a mirror, okay, like right in my hand, and you had your information right behind me, and you're typing your information in the kiosk, like Kirito was or something, and I was to look like this, I could see the information that you're typing in, but if I was to look at it directly, I could not see it. And that's the big flaw they decided to, I guess, fix. It would have been a little bit complicated for them to explain that properly. I think that's why they just tried to cut over that and make it with binoculars. I think that's the main reason why they would change something like that. But besides that, no complaints whatsoever besides that. I personally believe that this adaptation of SAO Season 2 has been wonderful. Very, very fucking great, and I have enjoyed it so much. I really have. I personally believe they gave more life to this series than I think even the light novels did. They surpassed many instances in the anime than the light novel ever achieved. I love the feels, I love the emotions. I can proudly say I can recommend SAO Season 2, or at least half of SAO Season 2 since I haven't seen the other half yet. I can proudly say that at the very least, Gun Gal Online has been adapted properly, and I am so happy. I am so fucking happy that A1 Pictures decided to adapt this properly, because it has been a very, very, very fun ride. Now, I know there's been a lot of problems with, I've seen a couple of people complain, and a majority of the Chibits pretty much understand by now, whoever's continuing to watch this series, it's not about the action. Majority of you that are probably watching this right now that have made it this long, no, it's not about the action. It's about the characters, it's about the development, it's about the progression, and stuff like that. And so, I've seen the comments kind of, like, trim down when it comes to, like, I want to see action, it's boring, all. I've seen that kind of trim down a little bit, which is understandable since now the majority of people are starting to understand the big picture that SAO was never meant to be like a shonen ripoff. It was supposed to be like a story driven by the characters. Now, the one thing I can't really defend about this episode, I know it's going to agitate a couple of people, is the entire bit with Kirito being saved through the syringe. When the syringe went down on him, you saw the, the electrode or whatever, I forget the exact name of it, the heart monitor thing that was on Kirito's chest. I can't really defend that because, honestly, I was kind of a little bit iffy about that when it was in the light novel, but it's not a massive issue that really turns me off from the overall series. It's not. I mean, Kirito, at the end of the day, is our main character, so he can't really die at this point. I mean, you gotta think about this as a logical standpoint. So I'm not really bugged about that, but that's the only thing I can see anybody could possibly have a problem with in this episode. Anything else, you're just nitpicking, honestly. You're just nitpicking if you see anything else, personally. But, I mean, I'm still not gonna judge if you find something else. I could have missed something. But either way, I felt like this episode, damn good. I fucking loved it. Really, 9 out of 10. And personally, if I had to rate this overall first half of SEO with Gun Gale Online, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 total, because it's exceeded my expectations. It kept a consistent pace, even though some will complain that it was too slow. I like pacing like this because it's spaced out and has proper development and proper conclusion. Now, I personally believe the entire bit with the way they handled the, force-type rape scene, how we saw, the dude, like, Asada-san, 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 that entire bit. That was just so over the freaking top. I'm just gonna admit right there, that was over the top and insane. It gave you a lot more insanity feels to that scene. Like, it made his character look a lot more crazier than I actually believed when I was reading the light novels for the first time. So there's certain things they've changed that has really helped the series, and I'm looking forward to seeing how A1 Pictures adapts Caliber and Mother Rosario. Now, to clarify this right now, for all Chibits to understand, if you do not know, Caliber is a side story that's going to be taking place in ALO. ALO, our fairy dance arc, the second half of Sword Online that barely anyone liked. Well, we're going back into that MMO, and we're going to have a side story with Shion, Kirito, and all the other casting characters. That's pretty much what's going to be going on right now. It's still technically canon, but it is a side story, pretty much. So, I'm just letting y'all know that if you don't know where the plot is going at the moment. So, get prepared for the next episode. I'm very fucking excited for next episode, especially with how they're properly adapting this series. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.